That was fantastic. You are just so great, and I just really thank you so much for being on the 50th show of Minding Your Business. It is just such a pleasure and an honor to have you back. BR, would you please introduce the members of the group?
First, we have Carnage on guitar. We have Olivia Martinez on the violin. It's my brother Jabril Noor on the drums. Chanel Jenkins on trumpet and vocals. Stacy Beatty, we also call him Black Velvet, on the bass, and I'm BR.
Oh, great. Thank you. Well, I want to talk to all of you. Just be conscious that I have an earring that's pinching and I can't hear that well. So just sort of like, you know, project to me. Okay. What I want to send out a shout out to Jessica Pichardo, who introduced us originally for the New Year's Eve show that you did, which was so great. I knew that I wanted to have you back. So
Thank you.
Welcome.
It's our pleasure.
Briard, let me talk to you for a few minutes. When did you first start writing poetry to a beat?
I was maybe 14 years old in high school. I had, you know, the friends that I hung out with, most of them were rappers, and I wasn't. I was a visual artist all my life, so I would draw a lot. When they would rhyme, I usually would sit there drawing. And I always had I was really into realism, and I always had a lot of detail in my drawings, like extreme detail, little meticulous things. And they would always encourage me to rap and kind of peer pressure me into it, because they'd say, the way that you draw, if you would apply your mind to music the same way.
What an interesting thought. Interesting combination. That really is very interesting that you put those two together.
Right.
Ah, that's great. And what, did you start out with a group or by yourself, or how did it get going?
Yeah, that group of friends evolved into a music group called Higher Circle, and we performed for several years. We released the album and had a lot of success and had a good time, and a lot of, that's where I started, so I got a lot of experience from that. And then, I wanted to try different things, so I spent some time just doing music by myself, and I guess, evolving more, going to a lot of open mic events by myself, just trying out different styles. And after that period, then I decided I wanted to start a band and do the sound that we have now.
Now, have you always had that entrepreneurial spirit that you wanted to be out on your own and do your own thing?
I don't know if I always did, but I don't remember when it started, but I guess it's just kind of was common to me. My family, everyone in my family was that way, that if you want to do something, do it. We always had that. It was always instilled in us not to wait for anyone to come and pick you up.
That's the way to go.
Hand something to you.
Right, because it's not going to be handed. You got to go get it.
Right.
So I'm delighted to see that that's what you decided to do. Jabril, you and BR are brothers. I didn't realize that before. So, I mean, that's great. And also, too, I want to compliment you on the business-like approach that you and Chanel both have in helping me to put this show together with you. I really appreciate it, the way that your efficiency.
It's
you have
a
nice business-like approach. This is great. In addition to being a very talented drummer.
Oh, thank you very much.
And did you start playing at age 4?
I did. Yeah, BR and my parents were both musicians. Our father was a trumpet player, our mother was a singer. So we always had music in the house. My earliest teachers were their drummers in their bands. They used to give me whatever drumsticks they didn't need, and I'd bang around the house. And that's pretty much how I started.
Now, did you play with groups in high school? I mean, most of you went to school, or a couple of you went to school together?
Yeah, 3 of us went to high school together. Yeah, in Brooklyn, Midwood High School, and that's where we met, and we all played together back then.
Oh, that's great. And did you start out playing hip hop or?
No, we were in the jazz band together and the orchestra in high school, and then we started our own
jazz, weren't you?
Yeah, jazz and classical, and then when we played on the side, in clubs near Chanel's house, we would do a lot of 70s covers, Stevie Wonder and Taste of Honey, stuff like that.
Did you study politics, though, at one time?
In college? Yeah.
That's quite a transition. You thought that politicians were not as musical as you'd like them to be?
I just always had an interest in politics. You know, more in how things happen than in the actual day to day. But I worked for the government for a while before I moved to playing music full time.
That's quite a musical group.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. Yeah.
Just no harmony.
When they have the money to spend on getting their instruments and music. But that's another story, so we won't deal with that. Stacy, hi, it's so nice to have you back. And
good to be back.
Is Brooklyn home for you?
Yeah, East New York, Brooklyn.
And what inspired you to become a musician? I mean, you know that it's not the easiest road to take, but I'm sure you all are aware of that. But what was your inspiration?
Well, my family are music lovers. My aunts and one of my uncles that used to sing. That's on my father's side, and on my mother's side, both her brothers, they played music. One played drums, or he tried to play drums, and the other one played bass and keyboard. And they started teaching me around 10, but my dad kept music around me from the time I was born. Classical music, a lot of old school stuff. He used to put me to sleep with it. So I've always had a love for music, and I wanted to play.
You mean that in a good way?
Oh, yeah.
You were bored with music.
You know, if I was a little rambunctious, he wanted to lull me to sleep. That was fine. And it's interesting because the same stuff he used to put me to sleep with when I was a baby, he played it for me 14 years later, and I still remembered it. So.